We're live.
I'm not ready yet, so you go without me.
Okay. And we're going to add this person to.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good
Please
morning. Good morning.
Please stop.
I have to type something before I.
Okay. Mazzy's communicating with his handlers.
Exactly. My management.
Mazzy's pickle.
So Mazzy makes a post yesterday on Instagram when people leave him adoring comments
Or crazy comments.
or hateful comments. And it's his video. Can someone turn music off right now, please? Which is probably Jim. No, never mind. It's
not me.
It's Mazzy from his.
Not me. I don't have any music on.
Yes, you do. It's from your Instagram comment. Sorry, it was me.
Oh, it's you. Okay.
Okay, but so this guy adores you for your correct pronunciation of Davies.
That's what it's Davis. It's Davis.
Right? No, I understand. I get it. You're stuck on there. So I make a comment that says Davis versus Davies, and then I spell out Davies, Dayvees. Some British dude goes, "No, you don't." Well, for his first comment was, "I'm British. It's Davis." And Davis are pronounced exactly the same way in this country. It's not pronounced Davies here. I said, I'm in the U.S. We pronounce it correctly. Mazzy goes, apparently not. Then the guy goes, no, you don't. Ray Davis, pronounced Davis, is British.
Tell him to speak American.
Yes, like the rest of the world.
Yeah. Learn how to talk American.
Well, I believe there's value in being an ugly American, but it's my ugly American. It's not
anyone else's.
The president ugly American.
Or anyone else for that matter.
I want to be, but I'm not. Listen, ugly Americans to me are funny.
Okay.
Horrible Americans are not.
Good morning, Jim.
Morning. Oh yeah. Have I turned off my ringer? Thank you very much. Okay, we're on vibrate. We're on silent. Thank you.
Here's some. Who gives ringtones to individual people?
I only give a ringtone to my wife.
Remember there used to be ringtone stores? Are there?
No, you don't. Stores? You have ringtone for your mother. Remember your ringtone for your mother?
Oh yeah, that was bad. What was that again?
I leave my phone on vibrate always. No,
see, 100 years ago, I gave $20 to that guy. What's his name? Who made the Zappa?
Oh, that guy's still responding to you.
Which guy?
The Brit?
Wax. No, you don't. Ray Davis pronounced David. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
I have a voice for porno. That's true. Hello, all you cats and kittens. What was my mother's ringtone? It was pretty terrifying. I got a bunch of Zappa ringtones.
Here's what I'm going to say. He made a lot of money.
Don't even bother, okay?
In the
US. Stay off my thread.
Every dollar he made was for Davies.
Davis.
For Davis. Every dollar was for Davis. Dollars for Davis. Was it Sammy Davies Jr.?
There's so many. Well, now Americans are different. Now there's so many clips you can find of Ray and interviewers in the 60s and 70s introducing Ray as Davis, the British announcers. Brian Matthews.
All right, I'm going to help everyone out here, okay? And this is, there are probably more incidences of this than I know. But people become famous, and then whatever the general public determines the way their name is pronounced is the way their name's pronounced.
Yeah.
Right? I'm a
Like-
sports fan, especially a Washington Redskins sports fan. Their quarterback who led them to 2 Super Bowls, Joe Theismann. His original name was pronounced Theismann.
Huh.
But when he was at Notre Dame, they said, well, Theismann rhymes with Heisman. And he
Ooh.
changed the name pronunciation of his name. It
Okay.
happened all. It
You know
happened-
what? And
it
didn't he
Let me
break
ask
his
you a
thigh
question.
bone on TV? Didn't he also break his thigh bone on
Yeah,
TV?
yeah. Well, no, his not his thigh bone.
But
Is there
still,
a thigh-
Theismann, it looked like it was his thigh bone.
No, it was his.
The ham bone
Lawrence
connection.
Taylor broke his. It popped. Okay, here's the deal, Mazzy. How many Davies are there that are famous? How many Davises are
Well,
there
there's-
that are famous?
Well, okay.
The fact that you pronounce their name differently distinguishes them different. You know who we're talking about. There you go.
Rich, we sort of stopped using the shill word, but first of all, I didn't shill. I didn't get a free copy. I announced a news report this morning. It wasn't a shill. I don't have free copies. The label didn't send me anything. I heard it through the grapevine that these were coming out, and I made a video that was announced today. And Westman didn't do a video with the Rhino people today. If you haven't heard yet, the 2 new choices, and people are going to say, we're not asking for that. One is an excellent choice, I think. Adeline, and is it Adeline or Adeline? I get dyslexic. The Uncle Tupelo debut, big label debut on Sire, and then they split up, and Tweedy starts Wilco, and Jeff Farrar starts Sunvolt, and it's a great record. And the original's rare. There's been a couple of reissues that are okay, so that's a good choice. The other one, which is surprising, the J. Giles Live, but the J. Giles Live. Someone commented, I didn't know this, in 2009, Steve Hoffman and Kevin Gray did what's that label they did?
DCC?
No, Analog something or
Chad's label?
No, the label that, yeah.
It
starts with an A. What is it called? Come on, you know what it is. Anyway, they did a copy. So that's a big rock. That was a big party record when I was in college. The J. Giles Live Full House. And it's an out of the box choice. I'm not quite sure how people are going to react to that one because people weren't clamoring for it. They're not asking for it. But I know Russ. Rich. See, Russ, I'll call you Russ.
Analog Spark?
No, it's the one that didn't Joe Harley have something to do with it?
Audio Fidelity?
Yeah. I think it's Audio Fidelity. Hold on, I'll tell you in a second.
I like J. Giles Band.
Yeah, but most people know their YouTube stuff.
Freeze frame.
Yeah.
And whatever the album before that was, what was their first big giant hit? I know they had hits in the 70s.
Yeah, they did. They
did have hits in the 70s.
Oh, Audio Fidelity was a label. Audio Fidelity.
Good people said Audio Fidelity.
Oh, okay. I wasn't reading the comments. Audio Fidelity. So, and apparently MoFi did it too, which I had no idea. So, but it's been a while. So there is a market for that rock and roll stuff. So I'm surprised. Interesting.
Well, we don't know if there's a market for it.
Well, you're right. We don't. But,
I mean,
power. Yeah, they were big in Detroit. Oh, it was recorded in
I'm
Detroit.
curious what kind of out of the box title they've done already has been a big seller for them.
Well, I don't think, see, from my point of view, I don't consider sales. Like Wilco, Graham Parsons, Emily Harris, to me are 3 of the great.
Yeah, I understand that.
They're not big sellers. They're not going to sell out
putting out these records not to sell 500 copies.
Oh, they'll sell more than that. But and then they'll go in the stores. The ones that don't sell, they go in retail. So they will sell through eventually. But so I like that.
Did you ever see J. Giles Band live?
I saw him once at Winterland, and I didn't see him as a headliner. They were like the second. I forgot. I'd have to look up.
Because their nickname initially, right, was like the American Stones.
Well, they kind of came out like that. Them and, of course, Aerosmith later, or Aerosmith.
I mean, I think if I had to list like top frontmen, Peter Wolf was the top frontman.
Yeah. Well, he always had those dark glasses, and he had Magic Dick.
And Peter Wolf is like 6'7" or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw those guys nuts.
Yeah, you saw him what?
Not once. And I have not one of their records.
You know, there's a rock and roll crowd, and it's probably like the rock and roll crowd, like the concert buddy types of people, the sports dudes, bros, that aren't into the alt country that much. I could be wrong, Chance, and if you are, correct me, please. But there is a lane for that. And there's also a huge Wilco, Uncle Tupelo, Tweedy, Sunvolt contingency separate from audiophile things that will jump into this. It won't be a massive fast seller. I know it won't. But I think it's a great album for them to choose.
Okay,
they need to choose the Sunvolt Trace album next. That's what I would like.
Okay. So this guy's come back at me saying, if that's what passes for humor, there's no hope. And here's my response. It's humor, HUMOR.
Here we go.
Not humor.
Oh, you are.
Humor.
Hey, it's their language, Rob.
But we perfected it.
Yeah, Uncle Tupelo it was announced this morning, Rhino Hi-Fi. Uncle Tupelo and the Jay Giles Full House Live, 1972. Uncle Tupelo, the Sire record from 1993. Don't you watch my videos yet? They've been out for an hour.
The co-band, the band that they were rivals with, that's the way I remember it, is Drive-By Truckers, right?
Say that again.
Drive-By Truckers, or
what about them?
They were like the rival band of Uncle Tupelo. Am I wrong?
No, they weren't. You're wrong. Yeah.
How am I wrong?
Jason Isbell was in one part of them. Not the original. He came in for a couple albums. They were a little different. They're in the more southern rock thing, like the southern South rock, not the Austin based or the punk bands that eventually punk artists went into alt country but they were the 90s thing, when all that grunge stuff was happening, there was an alternative. Like when all the grunge was happening, after me buying maybe the first Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, and I bought all the Nirvanas, but I stopped with Pearl Jam and those bands. The grunge just didn't hit me. But the alt country stuff, the Americana stuff, the obviously the Wilcos and Sunvolts and Golden Smog and Calexico, all that kind of stuff I really got into, and I'm still into it. I like Americana, alt country, all that stuff. That's my thing. Yeah, Laurel Canyon too, obviously. Oh, of course. I mean, country, the Byrds.
Laurel Canyon wasn't alt country that you're talking about, though.
We didn't call it alt country. We call it country rock. Eagles, you could say, but they became massive. Jayhawks, yeah. And Jayhawks are from Minneapolis.
Uncle Tupelo and Drive-By Truckers were popular at the same time.
I think Drive-By Truckers might have been a little further, but Uncle Tupelo was never a massive band. They were kind of cult plus,
Yeah.
Bottle Rockets. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I like that lane of music more than the grungy stuff or the harder rock stuff. I like that stuff a lot. And then they brought back people like on the Uncle Tupelo. Who's on one track is Doug Somm from the Sir Douglas Quintet. And so they kind of introduced Doug Somm to a lot of people who hadn't heard of Doug Somm or the Sir Douglas Quintet, to a different generation.
So what were you doing listening to that stuff? Pretending you're young?
I was young.
Yeah, that's like 30-something years ago, almost 40 years ago.
I mean, I was in my late 30s. I was in my late 30s. But I never stopped listening to music. I kept buying music. I mean, that was when I was raising my kid. I was buying a ton of CDs, all that stuff on CD. Uncle Tupelo is not your Uncle Ivan. Yes. Your uncle is Uncle Meat. See what I did there, Jim?
Yes, you did. Yeah, I mean, that stuff's good,
but every release doesn't have to be for everyone. You hear the comments. I'm seeing comments. Well, I'm saved some money this month. Great. You don't have to buy every release from any label.
Yeah.
For me, what happens is, like, I'll discover, Texas rock, Texas country rock stuff, Doug Sam and Freddie Fender and all that kind of Doug Somm and all that, Freddie Fender and that kind of stuff. And then I don't go beyond that at all. I don't need anything else. You know what I mean?
This is a good comment. Can I bring this up? Oh, you're using not my account.
I find everything else derivative.
The Rev, no depression scene of the 90s was not popular in a grand sense. Absolutely. It had a cult. It's like when that whole South by Southwest thing was kind of starting to those are big club acts, like club plus acts. Those kind of bands, look at Wilco now. I mean, they'll sell out the Fillmore for 3 or 4 nights.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Okay?
Let's hear the deal, Rob.
The deal is, in my world, I listened to a station called WHFS, Washington, D.C. It was the alternative rock station in D.C., and they played those bands.
Yes, absolutely.
So in my world, I heard those bands.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go fringe or whatever,
well,
it's what lane were you in?
No, I'm not talking about, well, they weren't top hit bands. They weren't in the video period making videos.
If it's the station I listen to, it's what I heard all the time.
Yeah. Bryan Adams is another one. Ryan
Adams is horrible as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I like that one album. There's one album or 2 albums of his. Is it Gold, I think, and the other one? He just got all Me Too.
My initial feeling about Ryan Adams is he needs a bath, and someone should give him a bath.
Well, you could say that. You could say that about half the.
I don't. But that's whether they need a bath or not. That's not my feeling.
Speaking of Vinyl Community, did anyone see the person who went after Lindsey Buckingham in Santa Monica?
I didn't. It wasn't me. You trying to think it was me?
Rob.
Someone threw some in Lindsey Buckingham's face. He was on his way to something in Santa Monica.
And this person already had a restraining order against him.
Yeah, he was a stalker. Look, I'm too lazy to be a stalker.
Wait a minute. She lives in her car. She called Channel 4 News and did a thing. And I'm telling you, Vinyl Community, this is our people. She's one of us. Just saying.
And then Ryan Adams was horrible to people.
Yeah, but I like those 2 albums, and then he got to be an asshole, like not just the Me Too thing, but he got to be kind of a
was
dick.
he in 1969?
You mean the movie?
No. Ryan Adams, 69. When
was
Ryan Adams popular?
Bryan Adams.
He used to get pissed at people because people would yell out Bryan Adams songs at his shows, and he'd get angry at his audience.
And he was
I can imagine.
He was a big dick, right?
You ever go to a Lou Reed concert? It sounds like they're booing.
He was a big heroin addict.
Elliot, what's happening? How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Hope you
Elliot's
are.
got something to say.
I hope y'all are. Ryan Adams is actually from around here. Jacksonville is where he was raised.
Yes.
And then he went to Raleigh, and he had a band called the Patty Hearst Syndrome, I believe it was called, and which was kind of a punk band. And then, of course, he started in the alt country vein with Whiskey Town. Whiskey Town was a really good band, but his reputation long before he was famous, was that he was really an asshole.
A drunk womanizer.
He was sloppy. Well, I don't think he had the gravitas to lure the ladies in at that point. But he was a sloppy drunk. He was notorious for, day drinking at all the Raleigh area bars, neighborhood bars, and showing his ass. And he burned a lot of bridges here. He couldn't keep a band. Whiskey Town went through so many different members over the years. He just couldn't keep a band because he was an obnoxious person. So, when people show you who they are, believe them. He showed long before he was this, praised by Elton John for his songwriting and all that. He showed who he was.
Yeah, these bands also introduced, like with the British blues player that reintroduced to Americans that didn't even know all these great blues players, black blues players, the Kings and all the folk artists and blues artists that brought us back the people that we never knew, we ignored. But even these, it would bring back country and alt country and just reintroduce them. Like I said, Doug Sahm on this record, obviously he's been known a long time, but there's a younger crowd that didn't know him. So he sings on one song with them. I don't know if he was really pushed forward, but they played together occasionally. But this is an excellent record. They went to Sire Records, and then Jay Farrar splits the band up. Tweedy would have stayed with them, and then the next year they each put out their own bands, Wilco and Sunvolt. I think the Sunvolt's the better album of that first series, but Wilco kind of took off. Sunvolt had a cult audience, didn't get the legs you'd call it that Wilco eventually got. Yeah, I think it's a great choice. Again, it's thanks, Rev. It's not a.
Did you pre-order your copy?
It's not a massive seller. What?
I've got an OG of that actually. I picked up at a record show back in the 90s. Yeah,
that goes for money. This is the reissue.
I got it back in the 90s at a Hillsboro record show. What is now the Carborough show. And I paid $15 for it probably or something like that.
It's probably $100+ record now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reissue of it. I have this clear reissue. It's a little noisy, but it's a fine version.
Yeah, mine is in fact, I didn't even open it for a little while, and when I finally did, it does have a little bit of. It's not a dead quiet pressing.
What Wilco is not a person; it's a band. So you said big push on him. Who's him?
Well, he's probably talking about Jeff Tweedy, but Jeff Tweedy has like 3 other entities that he plays. Yeah. Right?
Well, his 3 LP record was one of the best records of last year. There's a push on he put a big record.
He does them solo. Doesn't he have a group with his sons or something?
Yes, his sons are in the band. And
then
he had an autobiography about 4 or 5 years ago. He was a big alcoholic, and his wife, I guess, had really saved him too. Like typical story of music, right?
Alcohol and musicians seem to be a problem.
Yeah, but you said him as in Wilco. See, the audience doesn't know what you're talking about, Rich.
He had a pill problem.
Well, there's Nels Klein, who wasn't the original member, but really kind of added something to the Wilco sound. It's a great band. I know what you're talking about. Tweedy is Tweedy.
He does like a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He if you listen, I listened to the Myers Brothers podcast. He wrote like their song. That they
okay, play. Rich, I want you to come up here now and say that to my face. All this shit you're saying.
Hey, it's pronounced Mazzy, not.
I think the only thing about Tweedy, and I hate to shame anyone, but I think he needs to be introduced to Jenny Craig recently. Okay,
Jeff Tweedy.
Yeah,
he's
one too many corn dogs.
60s? Is Jeff Tweedy in the 60s?
Is he 60? He's probably. He's probably hot. Well, let's see. Hey Siri, how old is Jeff Tweedy?
Jeff Tweedy is 58 years old.
Oh, wow. My age.
Pretty close. There's a new album, new material, not a re-release that just came out. If anybody's...
His name is Jeff. His last name was Tweedy.
Anybody's... I hate the cover on this one. It looks like a AI cover.
What is that? Who is that?
That's Tedeschi trucks.
Oh, okay.
But I wish they'd use this cover. I like this cover much better. The back cover, much better.
Is that a studio or a live album?
Yeah, this is a studio album, and it's. I've only listened to it once because it's got. I cleaned it, but it's got a blemish. Not a blemish. It looks like something got spilled on it at the pressing plant. It's not. It's a little smudge on it, and it gives me a couple of crackles. I'm gonna clean it one more time and see if I can get that little blemish off. If not, I bought it from Amazon, so I'll send it back. But it's new material from them. I haven't, and it's not. It's just black. I always get black when I can.
Hold on one second, Elliot. I'm sorry, Yvonne. Let me do the heavy lifting this morning. You just watch, okay? Thank you.
But
go ahead.
But it's they have a huge band of like 12-piece band. This seems a little less jammy and a little more just a kind of a soul album. I hear more of the song is dedicated to Susan Tedeschi singing. A lot of them she'll sing, but the song might be 10 minutes long, and a lot of it is more like instrumental.
They get in those Allman Brother type jams.
But Bob Bradley, I haven't watched Bob Bradley's review yet, because if I'm going to review the album, I don't want to hear what anybody else says yet. But I'm not sure if I will review this one or not. But check out Bob Bradley's review, and he'll go in a little more depth on it. But don't you reckon that's AI generated? I hope they were being just sarcastic, or maybe not sarcastic, but just kind of parroting AI.
What's the name of the record? Is it the Robots?
It's called something Soul. Let's see. I don't even pay attention. Future Soul.
All right, so the future's got the robots in it. There you go.
Yeah. So it goes along with the album title.
He's a bit younger than her, right?
He's 48, and she's probably in her mid 50s. Yeah.
But I remember him because he was a prodigy, right?
That's right. He was playing a mean slide guitar when he was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
10.
His dad was in the Allman Brothers, right?
No, his uncle.
His uncle.
His uncle was Butch Trucks, the drummer for the Allman Brothers.
Uh-huh.
Was his dad not a musician?
Not a professional, I don't think.
I don't have any of their albums. I've only seen stuff like on the internet of them.
Yeah, they've got a lot. He had the Butch Trucks band for a while, which was probably something you would have really enjoyed, Rob. Kind of a jazzy. They went into Indian music and all kinds of different sounds in that. And then, of course, Susan Tedeschi, traditional electric blues artist. And for a while when they were together, they were touring separately as two different bands. But eventually, I guess as they got serious and maybe got married or got real serious together, they dissolved those two bands and created this larger band. They've been real successful. They sell some records, their own fantasy records.
Because the best thing for a relationship is working with your partner.
They're a big touring band.
How long did he play with the Allman Brothers, though? So he did play with the Allman Brothers.
He did. He played with them for a decade or so, probably. But with Allman Brothers back then, they were going to go out on a tour for just a portion of the year, not very much. So there was time for other projects. Like Warren Haynes had Government Mule, and he was playing with the Allman Brothers as well. So they were in multiple bands during that time.
Oh God, people's heads explode when this shit comes out. They get now. I have a question. I just saw that Grant is here.
Grant,
what cruise?
House?
Yeah, what cruise is happening?
It's the booze cruise. They're drunk.
Which is this an '80s cruise thing? What?
No, he goes on like those '80s cruises.
It's a vinyl community cruise.
It is an '80s
wait,
cruise thing?
Grant, are you going on a different kind of music cruise?
Hey, I want to be invited on a cruise to be like a guest speaker or something.
You would end up overboard. Someone would throw you overboard.
I've been on 2 cruises ever, and they were both because my photographer shot cookbooks for Crystal Cruises, and they kept cutting the budget. So they gave me, and Michelle and I went on the Alaska cruise. So it was a free thing in lieu of my cut, but it was great. Alaska
cruise is supposed to be very good.
It's great because unlike I did a Caribbean one too. The Caribbean one is fine, but literally 3 days you're on the water, you don't see fuck. You just see water. Maybe you'll see a whale here and there. But the Alaska cruise, you're going against the coastline. You're going into the glaciers and stuff. It's beautiful. Seriously, you go into Juneau and all those places.
I did the Mediterranean.
I haven't been with so many old Jews since my bar mitzvah.
Okay, Kathy Lee. Thank you for your cruise advertisement.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw something last night that was pretty awesome, I think. I am not a big Bruce Springsteen fan. I've seen him in concert. I think he's fine. Let me finish. He was in Minneapolis, I think, last night or maybe this week.
Yeah,
I did know that someone is touring with him, and I thought it was interesting It's the guy Tom, the guitar player.
Tom Morello.
Tom Morello is touring with the E Street Band.
Yeah.
Oh,
So while they were in Minneapolis, I guess as an ode to Prince, they played Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Go on the internet and watch it because people posted it.
Well, I
And
can't talk about it here. They did a major opening, like anti Mr. T.
Okay, but
band.
but Tom Morello and Niels Lofgren were sharing that guitar solo for Purple Rain.
huh.
Quite amazing. It was go watch it just for them
Two great
going
guys.
off each other.
Springsteen did the No Kings thing in Minneapolis.
Well, that's what we're talking. Right. He did also the event, right? Yes. And
But,
then he opened it. The first half hour was streamed live on YouTube of that opening show.
Bruce, listen, Rich, I am not a Springsteen fan, but one of my friends is a uber Springsteen fan and took me to see him. And after I saw Springsteen play, I get it.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Great.
I don't think anybody needs to retire if people are enjoying the show for the most part. You know, it's like McCartney. People say, oh, there's a few channels. Oh, McCartney should, if people are enjoying it, and people seem to be, and the bands are great. So all the power to him. Now, I won't go to see a big arena show again with Bruce. I saw him enough, but I love him. But that's what he does. He's a musician. So.
Well, very few bands strike, hit it out of the park for a long extended period of time. But that tour, when he did Born to Run, his third album comes out, and his band was just so phenomenally good, and he had everything worked out, and it was a phenomenal live show. And I think when we go back and we're older and we go back and see bands like Bruce Springsteen, the E Street Shuffle Band, I think we're going back to trying to relive that moment in our lives. I think it's a lot of it.
Yeah, I tell you, that 1975 Oakland Paramount show of Springsteen, when I first saw him, I went 2 nights. They're in Sacramento, I think, and when Born to Run came out, is the single best live rock and roll show I've ever seen. And I saw some great, the single artist thing, not like
I saw him that spring on that same tour in Durham at that Cameron Indoor, and it was the best state, or not stadium, but arena concert rock show I've ever seen. It was unbelievably good.
I just shared the link to the Purple Rain. I'm just talking about the solo between Niels Lofgren and Tom Morello. Watch it. Awesome.
So Niels Lofgren still playing with Bruce?
Yeah, why wouldn't he be playing?
He is.
Well,
they're going. He's been with them for like.
He has an expanded band now too.
But Niels Lofgren has his own solo career as well.
Right. But it never was huge. I saw him, A&M nearly broke him in terms of big time, because he was on A&M, those great records on A&M, and then Frampton Comes Alive comes out, which was A&M, and it was massive. And the A&M sends out a live radio thing to radio stations only. They got a lot of play, and it was great. And they never released that live. And finally, 2 years too late, they put out a live Niels Lofgren album, and it didn't really click.
Okay, but he became big because Neil Young brought him.
No, he played with Crazy Horse. He played with Neil Young.
Okay, so hold on. Oakenfield.
Is the live album you're referring to the one with Keith Don't Go?
Okay.
Well, yeah, that was one of his quote hits.
Yeah. Niels Lofgren's from Washington, D.C. He's a Washington, D.C. guy. And I know him. If anyone who grew up in D.C., there was a place called June Ree for martial arts, and he had commercials, and Niels Lofgren sang the theme, his jingle.
And
he sang a lot of jingles in D.C.
The band he was in with his brother was called Grin, Grin, and they made, I think, on Epic, 2 great records. I have those records. They're excellent records. But his A&M stuff, like Keith Don't Go, Those
See-
Cry Tough, I pull out on A&M. Find an original A&M mid-70s. It is a great sounding record. You talk about, I think I pulled it out in one of those Westman things. Standard records that sound like audiophile records.
If
That's
you're
one of
like Generation Gen X, MTV, he did have a minor MTV hit, like a music video they played all the time, where he's doing like flips in the air. He was big on doing them flips.
Well, he flipped
Did he really
backwards.
do them, or was that?
He's a tiny guy, and he would do backwards
Across the
flips.
Tracks, I think, is the song.
Oh, he was literally doing the flips himself.
I can flip.
Yeah,
He did that on stage.
while he was playing. He
I
would,
can
Now
flip
that
all
he's
the
like
way.
70 years old, he's not doing
well, he's
flips.
had hip
I would
replacement.
hope he's not doing them now.
A little guy can flip.
Let's see.
I can flip.
I have.
I will say the state of record shows seems to be solid right now. I've done 3 so far this year, 3 weeks in a row. The last one was a brew pub record show in Pittsburgh, which is
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Burrow. Pittsburgh.
It's a old historic town, but it's kind of adjacent to Chapel Hill, UNC Chapel Hill in Durham, and so it's got an interesting. It drew in a eclectic crowd, and did pretty darn well. Last year I did the same show, and it was basically 6 or 8 of us with our records spread out on a table, going through each other's records and buying each other's records because hardly anybody showed up. This time the weather was better, and
there used to be a guy that did record shows in movie theaters or in malls near the movie theater when movies were big. Was that back there on the East Coast? And they would get, every time a movie came in and out, they would get all this foot traffic.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Everyone's freaking out about this mission to the moon thing, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. I think they're going to bring back a virus that kills us all.
They're doing the circle.
God, I hope so.
I love that. I love space.
First of all, that's bullshit. They're not going to the moon.
Okay, Rich, did anyone watch? People did watch my haul from the Vinyl Con. Did anyone watch the haul I got from the
I watched it.
Okay, but you were there, Mazzy. I doubt I would have gotten all those records for the price I got them for in Den Bosch.
No, I'd like to go to Den Bosch. I would.
No, I would like to go.
I'd like to go there, get some herring.
I can't right now justify.
They got a lot of Europeans there. A lot of Europeans. It could be interesting.
Okay, not to go all over the place, but Craig, here's what's going to happen. It's going to be like Planet of the Apes. They're going to come back to a planet that is different. We'll all be apes.
God damn it!
I did enjoy the Billy Idol documentary, Scott. It got a little like schmaltzy at the end, but I think that was okay because you don't expect him to be like that. Watch it. It's on Hulu. Watch it. I had no idea he almost lost his leg, that he got in that horrible accident.
I think I remember that horrible because
I
tell the story. One of my earliest memories of Los Angeles, I came out here when I was a kid, was driving down Sunset with all the billboards for albums coming out. I had never seen anything like that.
Right.
Like Sunset, it was movies and records coming out. I never saw billboards for albums. And there was the net follow-up to Phantom Comes Alive came out where he's like reclined on the cover, like you open it up. And I distinctly remember he got in a horrible motorcycle accident. He broke both his legs. That's what I remember when I was a little kid.
Well, Sunset Boulevard in the 70s, the record business in LA was bigger than the film business for a while until Jaws and those things hit. And Star Wars.
The 70s is when the record business moved from New York to LA.
Yep. Big time. I mean, it was in LA. It was in New York too, but right. The big part was LA, right?
Sunset still has the
Motown moved to LA.
It still has the billboards.
Yeah, but not as much.
What was
I
Billy
heard an interesting observation on an interview I was watching on YouTube with a guy named Josh Turner, not to be confused with the country artist from the 90s, a young guy who's built a huge YouTube following, playing mostly covers, but he does his own original stuff too. There's another guy named Carson McKee, and there's a real rabbit hole there. They have huge numbers of followers and do some really good covers of a huge variety of different music. But he said that they could determine where to play, you know, when they went on tour by the algorithms of their viewership on YouTube. So they are the not algorithms. What's the other A word? The analytics. But they could you know, see where people were watching them, and they would schedule their tour based on where, you know, the most interest in their YouTube videos was, and they could go to a promoter, go to a venue or something and say, you know, we can almost guarantee you that you're going to make money on this. This is going to sell well, and this is why. And so instead of just doing a sweeping tour, they just pinpoint key cities to go to and do small tours like that, and it's been very successful for them.
Well, that's why I didn't go to Den Bosch, because I get very few views from Netherlands. I'll leave it at that. So I go to LA and those places.
The big record fairs, record shows, or conventions, whatever you want to call them. The downside of those, I think, of course, some of them are multi-day, I realize, but the downside of that seems to be you're never going to get to see and spend any real time, you know, even approaching all these, all the dealers, all the sellers.
That's okay. That's all right.
And
yeah, but those type of shows are few and far between, though.
Right. Most of them are small.
I went to Austin, which was pretty big, but I was able to cover it in the amount of days we were there.
Right. As somebody that sells at record shows, we've got a big one here in Clemens, outside of Winston-Salem, and it's a 2-hour drive for me, an hour and 45 minutes. It's a little far for me to drive, but I don't want to sell at that show because there's so many sellers. It's so big. It's twice as big as any of the others around here. And, you know, your competition is so great. You go there and you can't sell nearly as much because, well, for one thing, a lot of people aren't going to make it to your booth before they spend all their money. And
you don't have enough buyers for a show that size.
And it's just not you're not gonna be able to the price more.
Well, I'll give you a better example, Elliot, than what you're giving. Me and Jim were talking about WFMU, the New York record show. And my thought is, especially this year, to fly there, to get a hotel, the cost.
It's a lot.
To go into a record show to buy 2 records or 3 records doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
I want to go to a show and be able, like at VinylCon, I picked up like 30 records.
It's hard to get any kind of deal in Manhattan.
Deal. Here's the.
I'm not record-wise in terms of lodging. I'm talking about lodging.
But
because they cut back Airbnb, and so the hotels.
I could stay. I have enough family that lives around there. I could probably stay there.
Well, that's unique.
Yeah, but but even getting back to it, maybe I want to go for the experience. I want to go to Den Bosch for the experience.
It's and meeting people. I like the meeting.
But as a seller, unless you're a big shop with huge inventory, or you've got a real hard to find Grail type records, these big shows really don't work as well for your average seller. I don't believe.
Well, they must.
I know several people that do Clemens have done it in the past, and they say it's really not worth it to go to Clemens because, you know, they'll make more money at a brew pub sale or at one of the smaller sales like Raleigh or Wilson or Wilmington or something like that, then they will at this huge one.
The best are the shows like at a brew pub where, they're there for this. They're not sitting there like Rob and comparing each price to fucking on their phone. They're just buying shit and having a good time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't.
The problem with the big show is that he doesn't have enough buyers. If he had enough buyers, everyone would be happy with the big show.
Yeah.
Not too many.
Not
enough buyers.
I think I'm knowledgeable enough. I wasn't looking at my phone during VinylCon. I was getting records, and I kind of knew in my head, what I'd found. But I was buying half. I was probably buying a third for me, the rest for probably to put in my auctions. That's all. Who else talking about drugs besides you? Didn't you want to come up here and talk about big ears, Roger?
I picked up at the Pittsburgh show. I picked up 4 records. I'll share with you.
Richard, it's not totally illegal. The problem is they've had curtailed it. So there are Airbnbs in Manhattan, but very few. There are certain things you can't sublet. That's why they used to be a lot, so you could get a good deal. Now you're starting at $300 or $400, and so the hotels don't have that competition anymore. So the hotels knocked it up. I used to go to New York twice a year for like 25 years in a row, and the last few times I did Airbnbs before the pandemic. But you're right, they have cut it back. It's not totally illegal, but it's very much restricted now in Manhattan, New York City.
Trevor, yes, later today.
I picked up at the Pittsburgh show. I sold 51 records, which I thought that's a lot for me. I usually sell about 30, 35. But some of them were like the 250 records, four for $10 records that I sold. I gave a few of those away, and but ended up doing pretty well. But one of the things when you sell at record shows is you buy from the other guys, and usually I'm buying stuff to resell. But I bought these records from another seller there, Amy, and I'll show you what I got. And these were not, super low cost deals or anything. They were $10 for each one of these. But this Rolling Stones, their Satanic Majestic Request album, their foray into psychedelic, right?
Look in the dead wax. Is there a VAL or a ZAL? Because some of the stereo have a mono inside.
Okay, I'll check. And got that from Amy, and I got the deluxe box 3 record set.
No,
the other day, but for $10 I couldn't resist just picking up this regular old Sailing Shoes.
What's the name of that band?
Little Feet.
Oh,
and one of my favorite bands. And
take a shot.
And Let's Active.
That's Mitch Easter, right? Mitch Easter.
Yep, Mitch Easter and his 2 bandmates. They are the Faye Hunter and Sarah Romweber. Unfortunately, both of the ladies are deceased now. But this is on IRS. I have several Let's Active, but I did not have this Cypress Let's Active. Always good artwork on Mitch Easter stuff. And then from another seller, I picked up this King record from the Stanley Brothers and the Clinch Mountain Boys. This, of course, is more into my area. Hymns and sacred songs, very appropriate for Easter, Holy Week.
And Passover.
It's just Jim. I was about to make a better joke than you. Elliot, your next record better be a Passover record. There you go, Jim. See, isn't that better?
There we go. King Records out of Cincinnati. And interestingly enough, at the Pittsburgh show, there were several people there that were visiting from Cincinnati. visiting family, and we talked about King Records. I talked about King Records to a couple of them, and they were young people, not old folks like me. They were young females that they knew about King Records. And the thing about King Records, the guy that started King Records had an electronics shop, and he was between two major neighborhoods. And they told me, I had heard, but I couldn't quite remember the names of the two neighborhoods. But it was right there between banks of the Rhine, which is where a lot of the working class immigrants from the Appalachian Mountains and from the South in general, white working class community. And over on the other side of their store was, I think it was called the West Side, I believe it was, which was the working class African-American community. And his store was in between, and he started selling a few records at his appliance store. And he was selling to both groups of people. And he got the idea, instead of me just getting these records and selling them that other people make, why don't I start making my own records? And that's where the largest independent record label in the world for many, many years, King Records, got its start. And they did bluegrass, like you saw the Stanley Brothers there. They did soul, they did R&B, they did pop. They had all kinds of great music coming out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And I don't think they've ever put a museum up in Cincinnati to commemorate King Records. They said the building was just sitting there idle now.
Well, thank you for that King Records update.
I hope everyone took notes. There'll be a quiz later today.
I didn't go too long, did I, Rob?
No, it was just the right amount of longness.
I think we should have ailments time.
All right, you start.
I got a little tiny, like a paper cut on my finger, but I keep hitting it.
Don't do that.
Driving me nuts, man.
Yes.
Other than that, I'm fine.
Yes, Jim didn't eat a lot of dairy products yesterday.
I'm on to dates now. I'm eating medjool dates. They're quite good.
Yes.
Yummy.
This morning, I've already addressed one medical crisis, and I've got two home health therapists and a nurse coming after the show's over. So I've got my fill of all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
Today.
Yeah, let's not talk doctors anymore.
There you go. I knew I could get you off that.
I've got about a little less than half of the papers still out to be distributed.
What?
Freaking printer.
You picked them all up?
My damn printer put them in batches of 100. The second thing, they're tied in batches of 100, which sucks really bad. Really
Did you pick them all up yesterday?
They usually come
in 50s.
Bundles of 50.
The problem is the bundles like this, and if the string shifts at all, it turns into a basketball, and then you got 100 papers on the sidewalk.
Now, for most record stores, shouldn't they bundle them in bundles of 5? I'm kidding.
That was so funny. God, you amuse yourself.
I do.
Do it again. Bundles of 4. 6.
I got my copy. I haven't read it yet. The first thing I read was Tim, University of Vinyl's story.
You're not gonna read it.
It
has those are the gray stuff in between the ads are words.
Oh no.
And you could read those.
Okay, I'm out of here.
But no one does. I don't read it either. It's about the ads, man.
Can I address Ivan, our European friend, Rob, real quick?
Well, you're doing what he wants you to do.
All right, Ivan. Hey.
Oh, wow. And here's a good example. That's something I believe Elliot doesn't do quite often because he can't even get it right. So, Elliot, here. Yvonne, this is from Elliot to you.
Well, I appreciate that.
I helped Jim with the papers. I went twice with Jim to pick up the papers this week. I did more than I should.
Go on.
All right.
Those bundles of 100 suck. It burns too fast when you roll with it. Okay, so I purposely, I'm sorry, I buy the cheapest fucking paper you can buy from the cheapest fucking printer who uses the shittiest ink, and he doesn't clean his machinery all that often, and it's okay. It's all right. Everything.
Cut the corners you got to, right, Jim?
Well,
I got mine. I got mine in the mail yesterday. I haven't opened it up yet to read.
If
but,
you
I'm
didn't
looking
get yours in
forward
the
to it.
mail yet, Project Gemini, that could be a problem. I might have fucked up.
Danby, I really don't have people banned from this. If people want to come up or don't come up, it's their choice. So if you don't see someone, it was their choice, not mine.
I'm working on being banned.
Yes. Hey, tell me. And here's an interesting thing about Jim. Let's say he is banned, and he obviously isn't. He's here now, but it's the same thing, I think.
Yeah, there's no difference.
No difference.
Somebody asked if Little Feet Records brought big prices. I'm reading the comments.
It is all analog, baby. Look, it's all over my hands. The ink, it's analog.
Little Feet Records are steady sellers. They don't jump off the table, but they're steady sellers.
They're not really expensive, but they're quality. If you get a good copy of them,
the live album is what, if you're just
Little Feet Records are great.
It's probably the best live album, rock live album. It's up there in the top 5. It's in the top 5.
Okay,
I never thought of it as a top anything.
You pick a Mother's record, okay?
No. Van Morrison.
That's a good one. And Almond Brothers Filmaries.
Yeah, those to me are.
All right. Here's the deal. If you're like me, you grew up hearing that Tennessee Chicken or whatever song on the radio a lot.
Dixie Chicken.
I don't know the song.
Dixie Chicken was played like on rock radio a lot, the live version.
Yeah. By the way, I had to postpone it. Today at 4:30 is my Whatnot auction. Today at 4:30, I had to postpone with Kimbo. I had to postpone it yesterday, so 4:30 Pacific. Live at Leeds is great. I mean, there are a lot of great ones, and
I'm going to say this: the Journey live album, the double live album, that's a good live album.
No.
Yes, it is.
Fact, no.
Fact,
yeah.
yes.
Hey, David Atkinson, did you do the vinyl tag, the 2027 vinyl tag yesterday?
Man,
I posted it, and I got it arrived like a thud. The AI vinyl tag.
I'm doing a vinyl tag right now on this record.
Can I show 2 jazz records? Speaking about RVG, no, I don't have any RVGs. These are RVGs, but these are reissues. 2 jazz reissues that came out over the last couple months. The Verve Analog Productions or Acoustic Sound Series. And I know there's a segment of jazz people that just don't like the Hammond B3 organ. I adore it. I love the soulful kind of bluesy sound. And these two albums, Jimmy Smith, are great. This is all with Oliver Nelson, so it's a little big.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you why those albums are not good. But you finish, Mazzy.
If you don't like them, that you don't like this style, that's fine.
No, that has nothing to do.
Why don't you tell me how not good it is before I describe it?
You do that all the time.
Just tell me.
Yeah, I just said Journey, and you said no.
Yes, right. Well, we're talking Journey.
Okay, you want to know why those are not the good? There are Jimmy Smith records that are awesome.
Yeah.
But the first one you showed, what made Verve horrible for jazz for me is the orchestrations behind it.
Well,
it buried the sound, and that record right there has orchestration.
It doesn't bury the organ or the sound. In fact, Oliver Nelson, I understand what you're saying. Yes, a lot of their stuff was overproduced. This one actually is like a soundtrack. Think of Lalo Schifrin or that kind of stuff. This
Yeah.
one, there's no orchestration.
Yeah,
It's a
that
trio.
one, yeah, is good.
It's a trio. So fuck
Penny
you,
Burrell,
Rob.
why
Get
not?
with
That's gonna be good.
the thing. It's an excellent record and a great sounding record. These were done.
I mean,
think it's,
what was good for Wes
Matt
Montgomery?
Luthen's.
Wes Montgomery made a lot of money for Verve, but they buried him in orchestrations, and it was disgusting. Thank you.
Well,
All right.
Jimmy,
Well then,
Jimmy Smith records. I've got some new Jimmy Smith records. I mean, reissues that have only been played a couple of times. Very, good condition, great condition. I've got some old Jimmy Smith records, OGs, and whether he's good or not, nobody will buy them.
no,
I mean,
they're not big sellers. I get that.
they do not move.
Here are the Jimmy Smith, my favorite Jimmy Smith
No,
record.
that's not true, Ivan. I bought these two.
Okay, calm down. My Jimmy Smith record is the on Blue Note is the solemn. What is it? The sermon.
Yeah.
That sermon is the best one.
Well, also,
Yes.
no, it's a good one. The Verve one, The Cat, is really good.
The Verve records that he did were his live ones. The root whatever, and he has a couple Verve live runs. Those are really good, and he's playing with like younger musicians.
Well, excuse
Hey,
me.
Bill K, I have one thing to say to you. F off. Root Down. Root
The
Down's
Cat.
the one you should get. Do you have Root Down, Mazzy?
I have
on-
to see the cover.
That's part of the Verve. Chad put that out. The Verve reissues.
I don't think I do.
When you get that, you'll go, "Wow, that's so good."
Who asked about the Bongo Fury CD? Beefheart, Zappa. Excellent. Get the CD box. 2 complete live shows at the Armadillo World Headquarters in Austin. 2 complete nights plus a whole bunch of others.
But okay, Jim. Let me ask you a question.
Excellent.
Yeah, what does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Someone in the
Yeah, but 2 other times the last 2 weeks you've shown that.
someone in the chat.
half
Hey.
the records, more than half
Yes.
the records that are
Yes.
constantly reissued, you can get copies cheap. That's not an issue. Sometimes you have to find a
This
good one.
is cheap. This is $39, I think, for 4
Yeah, no,
CDs.
CDs are good value these days for the most part. I agree.
Fantastic. It really is incredible. Really good. I'm super happy with it. I'm not happy with my CD player though.
Yeah,
Which is-
prayer meeting is a good one too, definitely.
I would love to have been in Austin and gone to shows at the Armadillo World Headquarters.
I have a bunch of Mac Davis records. Someone asked if I have anything besides Frank, and yes, I have Mac.
No, that's incorrect.
In Laurel Canyon, everything did go to Frank. Everything. He was the godfather of Laurel Canyon.
Did he play with Joni Mitchell?
She lived upstairs from him, so in a way, yeah. I mean, she lived above him on the hill. Her house was right above his.
What was it about Laurel Canyon where the people able to rent houses there fairly cheaply? Or
It was like living in the woods in the middle of the city. You know, all of a sudden there's woods. In 10 minutes, you can be on Sunset Boulevard,
yeah.
Hollywood Boulevard.
But I mean, a lot of these musicians weren't big yet when they started living there, right? They were able to find
You could, well, it was the hippie
inexpensive
time.
housing.
You could, the housing was not cheap, but you could like rent a room. There were kids just walking up and down Laurel Boulevard dressed as hippies. Frank's first house was on Laurel, and one time a guy walked in with a fucking 45 and started waving it around. And that was it. Frank moved up to Woodrow Wilson and put a fucking gate in front of his house. But yeah, it was nuts.
Hey, Mark Glassman, are you still here, Mark Glassman?
Is that the real Mark Glassman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would
Hey,
the real Mark Glassman please stand up?
Seriously, is this a serious question?
Ricks, the only reason I'm into Mac Davis is this one record, and I think it's because the cover is so.
You're not into Mac Davis. You're
No.
not.
I just am
David?
into that one, the craziness of that one cover.
Hello, Eddie.
Hey,
Mac, tone poets are worth it if you like the music, but like everything else, I think during the pandemic, a lot of non-jazz lovers, bought a lot of tone poets because they heard they sound good, and then they realized they weren't into jazz a lot. But if you're into jazz and you pick the right titles,
you can pick up tone poets for good prices.
Both of you have explained it horribly wrong. Do you want me to help you?
No, fuck you, Rob.
Okay. Everybody.
Eddie, come on with me. 1, 2, 3. Fuck you, Rob. Everybody, all four of you.
Hold on. Can I give my explanation to prove that it's better?
Fuck you.
Everybody, here's the deal. David Atkinson, and you're going to agree with me, not Mazzy. If you stream the album, if you like it, the tone poet is an excellent way to.
That's exactly what I said, but in a different order. That's not what you said. That's exactly.
And what I said was look for them used.
Before he goes away disgusted.
Yes.
Mark, I have a question for Mark Glassman. Mark Glassman,
he's in the UK.
There's a record store. Do you know this record store? X Disc C Music in Ketchner. Do you know this record store? Let me know. Thank you.
See, David Atkinson lives in the UK, so they're not as easily discounted in the UK.
He's got a couple of good videos about his forays into selling at record shows.
Very good videos.
Check out those David Atkinson videos.
Yeah, that's David.
Here's a perfect example of my point and not Mazzy's. They just released a new tone poet, Larry Young, Mothership, which came out as those horrible covered 1980. It was a shelved record. That record is awesome. I just ordered it. Hopefully it comes out Friday. That record is very good.
I think the tone poets do a great job on those tone poets. They're not the OGs, but they're kind of a modern, really good sound.
Okay. Again, the Larry Young one, which is a organ. He's a jazz organist. More avant-garde than Jimmy Smith. That record's awesome. Lee Morgan's on that record. Yes, that Mothership is good. Fluffy, I only found out about it yesterday. I'm not on the Getty's email list. Did she
play at the Getty?
Yes.
Wow.
For free.
Wow.
Is the Getty named after the Getty?
Jim, help me out here. Here's the problem with the Getty.
The parking.
The only way to get to the Getty is you have to park remotely and take a tram.
They have a tram.
And here's a fascinating thing about the Getty. When we had the fires last year, the Getty was right there in poised to be burned down. But the thing about the Getty is when they built it, it was built to be fireproof.
Yeah.
Because there's millions and millions of dollars works of art in there.
And the building on the property got saved too. The older building.
It didn't need to get saved. They were all all the buildings on the property. And you want to know something else interesting? If you're a fan of the movie Against All Odds with Jeff Bridges, the ending scene, the last scene in the film, they're standing on a property they're groundbreaking to build something. That's the Getty.
Well, what do you know, Rob? You're like the regular guy that sells the maps.
Remember the old Getty? Remember the old Getty in Malibu at the beach?
It's on the PCH.
Yeah.
But that's what's a pain in the ass to the Getty. If you're going to go to the Getty, you got to find parking early, take the tram up.
I mean, it's not that hard. You just got to park and take a tram. That's all.
Well, you have to get through traffic.
That's what people do in every other major city in America. They take public transportation.
The reason
isn't there a parking lot at the bottom of the hill?
Yes.
But the traffic
fills up.
Listen, the traffic.
You want to know what the problem with the Getty is? Art should not be up on a hill. It should be in the streets for the people to see. It should be
power to the people.
Why do we have to go up on the hill to see the art? It should
art power.
When I first started, I had another newspaper 100 years ago, and my graphic designer was from France, and they were building the Getty, and that was his bitch. The art should be in the streets, not in the hill. I'm like,
hold on. First of all,
baby,
I found out about this show like in the afternoon. I was rearranging my sock drawer. I didn't have time to.
No, but the Getty is, kvetching about the Getty is kind of stupid. It's fucking amazing, and you can go anytime you want.
Someone posted on apparently that Uncle Tupelo, the lowest price for the U.S. before is $111. And then the reissue is $79. So it's due for a reissue, that Uncle Tupelo, because it is going for $80 and $110.
And what Mazzy will not say to you guys is stream the record first, and if you like it,
yeah, it's like you should do that. But any record, you could, you can preview anything these days.
I do not stream.
Since I'm not on all these,
I stream in my car, but even on
not
YouTube, Elliot, you can listen to something on YouTube and see if you like it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the idea that I'm taking a chance on something.
Yeah, but you're not buying $30 or $40 records.
The thrill of the discovery.
Sometimes I am.
Hold on, Elliot. Let me help you out. Of all the records you show, I don't feel like you're really taking a chance on them because no one else has heard about them.
What the fuck does Birdie One Num Num actually mean? Talk about shitty code names.
Well,
31 Num Num. God damn it.
Maybe that means something to him. Maybe
It doesn't mean anything to anybody else.
Maybe
It sounds like you're
Nazi. Let me help him.
Sounds like you're having anal sex with
maybe
a bird.
each of his grandmothers, one was named Birdie and the other one was named Num Num.
It sounds you're eating out an American eagle.
That's the party. Peter Sellers, Num Num Birdie, Birdie Num Num.
Hey, is Record Store Day this weekend or next weekend?
No, the 18th.
No, go this weekend and just sit there, Eddie.
Get in line, Eddie.
You'll be first in
Get
line.
now. Get in line now.
I'll be in San Antonio and Austin this weekend.
Oh.
Sunday and Monday.
For what reason?
Waterloo moved, the new Waterloo.
Yeah, it just basically crossed the street, Jim.
Isn't there a Whole Foods? There's a Whole Foods across the street. There used to be.
Right, but this is adjacent on the other side.
Got it.
They moved there. It's got more parking.
Is it as good?
I haven't been there yet, but it looks pretty much the same,
Hey, hold on. Damn B, are you serious? Are you serious?
He just wants me to say Rhino High Fidelity. That's all.
Now I'm gonna go see a couple of concerts over the weekend, one on Sunday and one on Monday.
One of those really heavy metal.
Where are you going to see it?
Yeah, the Sunday one it's Testament, Destruction, and Overkill.
Oh, those are three bands I've never heard of in my entire life. I love
You
it.
haven't heard of Testament or Overkill?
No.
Yeah,
I've heard of that. I've heard
I have
of
a sheltered life when it comes to heavy metal.
Testament's from the Bay Area. You should be very familiar with them.
Do you think I know everyone from the Bay Area?
Oh, hold on. Wait. Did
If they
everyone
weren't in the vicinity of my bike, I didn't know.
every other thing about the Bay Area Mazzy knows, but not Testament?
Just say you did, Mazzy. Don't
There's a
admit you
testament to
don't know
that.
anything. Don't admit you don't know
Hold on.
anything.
Eddie, when did Testament first come out?
86.
You were in your 30s, Mazzy. You're listening to other stuff.
Okay. I want Wax. Name me 3 tracks by the Chocolate Watch Band. You probably couldn't, and I get that. You shouldn't. I mean, you don't. That wasn't your thing.
The one I'm really looking forward to is on Monday.
I do buy new music, but
Wait,
Marcus,
wait,
I don't buy every record.
Let
that comes
Eddie
out of
tell
every
us where
genre.
let Eddie tell us where he's going.
Okay.
The Monday show.
Yeah,
Please.
Monday. There's a all-female Japanese band coming. They're called Hanabi. They're like a new metal.
What are they called?
Hanabi.
Oh.
HANNABIE.
Got it. Is that a cheese?
Are you
No.
friends with Michael Poetry?
Yes.
He loves that stuff.
Yeah. Michael's he's got his ear on the scene more than I do. He knows a lot more bands than I do from Japan. He's very well versed in that genre.
Where are they playing, Eddie?
In Austin, they're playing at Emo's, which is a famous venue in Austin. And it's going to be mainly kids. You know, they attract a younger audience, but I've been wanting to see them for a couple of years, and this is the closest they've come in a while. So I made it a point to take Monday off so I can go check them out.
What about the Sunday show? Is that in the same place?
No, that's going to be in San Antonio. So I'll leave Sunday to San Antonio, catch the show, and then wake up Monday and go to Austin. Stop at Buc-ee's on my way up to Austin. Get me a burger or something. Are you guys familiar with Buc-ee's, Elliot?
No, we don't. Well, I think
Buc-ee's.
they're beginning to start showing up here. There's one or two now.
They're opening one. They're opening one in Phoenix in June.
I'm going. I'm driving up to Phoenix.
I think they're getting one in the Raleigh area, or two or three in the Raleigh area. I think one's running now. That's it.
Hey, music in the house. I do like some heavy. I've seen all those bands. I saw Blue Cheer. I saw Ronnie Montrose, and I saw Yesterday and Today. So I saw a lot of.
Yeah, but yesterday. When did Yesterday and Today turn kind of
late 70s? They were late 70s.
Yeah, but their big hit was like a Summertime.
I saw them before that. Bands like Earthquake too.
But Yesterday and Today eventually became Y&T in the 80s.
Yeah, they were kind of
hair metal,
pop hard rock. Yeah. Band.
I saw them as Yesterday and Today in '78. Actually, it was my first concert.
And what are they called now?
Y&T.
They were. I don't know.
If they were Y&T.
Summertime Girls was their big MTV hit.
Yeah, there you go.
I picked up a couple of jazz records. I'll share with you if you'd like me to, Rob.
All right, let's see what happens here. Are they going to be like old timey?
They're well known. They're well known. I got from one guy out in Oregon, I believe. Bought it online from him. Sealed. This Record Store Day, Bill Evans.
Yeah.
Very
Live.
nice.
Top of the Gate. And I think it's number 319 of 4,000. Does that really matter?
No.
When they number them? I don't think it does. And this Rhino release, again, this is sealed as well, Coltrane Sound. And this is number 4,382 of 5,000, I believe. Wow. But they're sealed.
Then they released that unnumbered.
Yeah.
So this is the first re-release.
They released. You could only get the number ones through the website, and then they released them unnumbered for Record Store Day.
Right. And they're records I bought for me, not to resell. But I got a good price on them. I don't know. What do you suppose that Bill Evans was selling for on Record Store Day?
Actually,
is it a double album?
A Record Store Day was probably like
50,
$60. But then I think they did a lot of those because then I picked it up for $25.
Yeah. Well, like I say, it's they did 4,000.
Right.
Numbered. I got these. I got both of these for $55.
Kimbo.
Yeah.
There you go.
So $27.50 for each of them. But what I'll do is I've got a lot of Bill Evans used, and I'll probably go through my Bill Evans, keep this, and there may be a couple of those Bill Evans that I already have that I might sell.
Yeah, when you buy one of those Bill Evans, you have to buy all the Bill Evans.
Yeah.
Hey, Kimbo, you're number one. I think you're number one.
What happens is if the Rhino Hi-Fis don't sell through, some stores eventually do get numbered.
Oh, hey, hold on. Very nice of you. But isn't this 56 cents American?
Wow, that is so generous.
Yes. But
if Jim and I get a cut because we're regulars, let's throw Elliot and
hold on. Just to have a hitman take out Mazzy, it's going to cost more than $10 Canadian.
Hey, Mazzy, have you been to the new Sub Pop store?
It just opened. No, I haven't. Opened April
Yesterday.
1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
You know, it's funny. They closed the airport store and they closed their small place by Amazon, which was tiny, so this one is on like right on the not on Elliott Bay on the Puget
Waterfront.
Sound there.
My bay.
Oh,
So I've
hold on.
been down there. No.
There's no need to donate.
Well,
Especially,
You could have said we're smelly for free.
hold
Yeah.
on. There's no need to donate, especially so little. Hold on. Hey, announcement. Serious.
Rob's
This is
now the
serious.
grifter here.
This is serious. This is an announcement. The Kraft just announced the Alan Toussaint songbook.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yes, it's 2 LPs.
Okay, Elliot, is it Toussaint or Toussaint?
So,
I would say Toussaint, but I really don't
In,
know.
in England, they call him Toussaint. Here,
I've
it's
heard it
Toussaint.
pronounced Toussaint.
Shut up. I thought it was Davis, or it's spelled.
Anything.
It's pronounced
anything-
Charday.
Hey, Eddie, you've been going to concerts for a very long time, right?
yes.
Did you see the Kinks?
Never.
Eddie, is it Eddie or is it Edie?
Really?
Eddie.
Because in the 80s, the Kinks toured like twice a year in the U.S.
Yeah, I was never a fan of the Kinks.
I never saw the Kinks.
I saw him about 6 times.
I was way too young.
They toured so much in the
They
U.S. during the 80s.
They became a big arena band.
Oh, the
which is
80s.
interesting.
Yeah.
I
I was going to see
remember
the
them
Monkees.
coming through here in the 80s, but not to say that they didn't. But I just
Well,
don't
because
remember.
they were worried about anybody in North Carolina pronouncing Ray's last name. That's the problem.
My problem in the 80s was I think I went and saw every fucking Warner Brothers act, but nothing else.
Did you get
Who
problems?
is this?
that?
Who
We
is
all
this
played it
on my
before
shirt?
them.
Who is this? What name is on my shirt?
Miles
Miles
Davies.
Mike Harris.
Davis.
But we're talking American Davis, and it's spelled different. I'm going to see Nick Lowe Sunday night, Easter
Oh.
Sunday.
That'll be good.
Hey, here's the bad thing about England. I don't know what this amount is. 78 pence.
The fuck is a Pence?
A suppling. Can you hand me a
That's
suppling,
our
please?
ex-vice president, Mike Pence.
I'm hoping I might be able to meet Nick Lowe on Easter, which is kind of nice. It's kind of like they opened up the rock and he returns.
Like, ich hab nicht
Oh, by the
gesehen.
way, everyone, happy Passover. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm
Happy
having
Passover.
20 people over on Saturday.
Yeah.
We're gonna this Passover shit. I've never done it before. Apparently, you have to slaughter a sheep, put it over your head. No,
Can someone shove a bunch of
And don't you do you got to paint
there's a
above
neck
your
bone
door.
involved. There's a
with
goddamn
blood.
neck bone involved.
What you're going to paint with blood above your door too?
Got to put a
What-
bloody X over your door so the angel of death passes over.
That's true.
Passes over your house. And the
Right.
Pharaoh was a firstborn, and that's why he let him go. He said, "Nah, fuck this shit."
hey, Mazzy and Jim, help me out.
That's the other thing. You got to do the
Hold on.
tinfoil hat.
Moving forward, any donations you give to me in the chat have to be in Gelt.
Little candies wrapped in tinfoil.
I'm out of matzah right now. Otherwise, I think we should do a live stream of hide
Hey,
the matzah.
Things
Hide
are
the
getting
matzah.
bad in Los Angeles. It's getting very anti-Semitic. I had to go to four stores to find a box of fucking matzah yesterday.
You know, I mean, I
no
don't get
matzah
so
at
do I.
Cons, no matzah at Ralph's.
anti-Semitism.
Jim,
I'd
I
go to
Costco got
Gelson's.
tons of it.
I'd go to
Unfortunately,
Gelson's.
anti-Semitism is way
And
up.
Gelson's, when you go in with your cart, there's a whole display of you just
All right.
bump into it, and everything you need for Passover falls
Okay.
right into your cart.
All right, I'm gonna do a little rant here.
Gefilte fish.
I
Good.
was watching for Passover. Coca-Cola makes a kosher version of Coke, but I thought it always was kosher. But with a yellow cap on it, that means they get rid of the corn syrup and they use real cane sugar.
Oh, is that
So I'd
makes it
heard
kosher?
that. So I went to 3 supermarkets this past week. None of them had the yellow capped Coca-Cola.
In general, though,
I haven't gone to Gelson's. I'm gonna go to Gelson's, and hopefully they'll have the yellow capped Coca-Cola.
In general,
Just go buy a
kosher
Just go buy a
food,
Mexican Coca-Cola.
But I
Yeah.
understand, but Eddie,
same thing.
a regular bottle of Mexican Coke is like $3 to $5.
And it has to be blessed by a rabbi.
Right, but the yellow cap comes out for Passover in the regular 2-liter bottle.
Just in general, when you go to the food at any Jewish holiday is run at least once, sometimes 2 or 3 times, through a special deflavorizer where they can take
Roger,
all the goodness out of it.
hey,
You know,
Roger,
it's just like gray.
That's
Roger,
why I said the other day that Italian food is so much better than Jewish food taste-wise. I agree.
Yeah.
So did you?
Period.
So this goes out to Jim, Mazzy, and Wax. Did you all have separate
No,
sinks in your house?
that's
but
only if you're kosher
you're
or if you're
supposed to.
Orthodox. If you're
supposed to.
I
Orthodox.
told my wife is flipping out. I said, you got to bury all the
Yeah.
dishes,
Yeah.
bury it, and then run around, do some witchy shit, unbury. I don't know. And then it's kosher.
Okay, there
Right.
are
What's the separation between the two sinks? I
okay.
don't
There,
know.
well, there
You
okay.
can't-
There are Orthodox, conservative, and Reform Jews, but there are also Hasidic Jews. Kind
The
of
thing of it is, the Orthodox Jews, Elliot, you have to have. There's kosher, and then there's kosher just for Pesach.
Yeah.
You have separate plates,
It's very religious, very to the
Separate-
point, very traditional.
separate
And
cooking
that's
utensils.
for the
that you
ceremony. That's for
Yeah.
the ceremony you're having during
In-
Passover. Is that
in
what
general.
Let me explain it that I'm not Jew in a non-Jew way. Basically, you can't whenever you have dairy products, you can't wash them when you wash your meat
You
products.
can't, yeah, you can't mix.
So your
dairy.
dairy and your other products have to be washed separately. They can't intermingle.
Yeah,
But you
That's
also have to
also-
have kosher, especially for Pesach.
Right.
it has to be
And,
blessed. It's a bit of a scam. A rabbi blesses it, and then they charge you 25-50% more during the whole holidays. I was growing up Reform Jew, which means I think we had one of
I
the
grew up
first.
Reform too.
Later on, we had one of the first junior rabbis who was a woman. Women were.
We had a
my
is the late
grandparents were very
60s.
Orthodox. My grandfather was what they call a Lubavitcher, which is like, I don't know, hardcore evangelical. I mean, he was bad. And, but my father took me aside when I was very young and said, son, it's all made up. Don't worry about it.
Well, the pork thing was valid going way back because
Right, of course.
trichinosis was a
Well, yeah, they couldn't say you got to wait till they invent the refrigerator.
right, exactly.
But now that they have the fucking refrigerator, hello, I just went and had some carnitas that was off the charts.
Hey,
I'm
listen,
giving that up.
nothing beats a good old ham sandwich. Ham and cheese?
Grilled.
No grilled.
Not grilled.
Deli sliced ham, really.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
I
the big news here in my hometown is we're getting a Barnes and Noble after not having a bookstore for 20 plus years.
go Barnes and Noble, man. They're selling.
Oh,
books.
hold on. Okay, let me inform all of you. Barnes and Noble has done an excellent job reinventing themselves. And I heard they're going to reopen like 300 stores in the U.S. or something like that.
Well, we were getting one, and
yeah,
hopefully
they're,
they'll have a good movie.
They're much smaller.
I'm in a book club. I'm reading a book a month now.
I got a question. Excuse me. They just showcased the new potential Trump library. What are they going to put in it?
Movies. Hey,
See,
Mazzy,
Take,
you should
Run.
do a book club.
Run,
Mazzy should
Take,
do a book
Run.
club. A VC music. You got a lot of music books. You should do a book club once a month. We're going to do one on the Beatles, one on the.
My friend Todd, Lost Mixtape, and a couple guys started a book club, and they asked me and a couple of us, but their first record they did a biography on the Cars, and I had no interest in reading a biography on the Cars. No offense to the Cars, but it wasn't something that appealed.
Okay, never
to me.
mind then.
They haven't made one since, but it's a good idea, actually.
I was interested in joining a book club at our public library, but it was all ladies' book clubs. There was no.
Ooh.
Listen.
No, you know who's got a good book club for man?
I'm doing this right now. Look at this face. That face screams for Bridges of Madison County.
Oh, it touched me. It
Yeah,
touched me.
I do love some pork. Winnie.
Speaking of pork, let me correct something Rob said on an earlier stream, and it kind of got my blood pressure up a little bit. North Carolina barbecue is not pulled pork or shredded barbecue. There are actually 3 versions of North Carolina barbecue.
Oh no.
And the really good stuff, the authentic stuff, is Eastern North Carolina barbecue. What makes it so good and unique is it's whole hog barbecue. It's not just the shoulder like they do at Lexington barbecue in further west in the state. It's whole hog, and it's what sauce they use. They don't use a lot of sauce at all. Is vinegar based, and it's cooked with wood, not with gas and not with electric or anything like that. And it's chopped barbecue.
Yeah.
Usually served with slaw and
How fine
potatoes.
is it chopped?
Old
How
potatoes.
fine is it
Difference
chopped?
between shredded and chopped to help.
Yeah.
It's a
Explain me
huge
that.
difference because you have the right mixture of fat in it. You have to chop it. Shredded is not nearly as good. And
Whoa.
What's the most popular form, Elliot?
the Eastern North Carolina barbecue is the most popular here.
Well,
And
you're in
we-
Eastern North Carolina, right?
Well, I'm in the.
I'm
the
talking
form-
about-
Okay, Elliot, what are the other 2? You got the chopped.
You,
He just
you
talked
got
about
you've got Lexington style barbecue, which originated in Lexington, North Carolina, in the Western Piedmont, which is they cook the shoulder and they use a tomato based sauce for it, and it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's
And
just
number
not
3?
nearly as good, and they don't necessarily use wood to cook it with. They use
Bastards.
electric and gas, things like that. The third is the barbecue in the mountains of North Carolina, which is awful, which
And
is
they-
kind of what I think.
They use
Which-
humans in that
which
part.
is what-
Raccoon back up
And
there.
that's what Rob was describing.
Them's
Oh,
fighting
oh,
words.
my experience with North Carolina barbecue is it's shredded. It is not sauced. They have a mustard based sauce.
No. Mustard is South Carolina. That is not North Carolina. No North Carolinian would ever put mustard
Oh,
in
man.
barbecue.
David,
Them fighting
yeah.
words, Wax.
Yes.
people
Yes.
are tired of us talking about the same old reissues records. So talking about food for a change. I remember the first time I went to London. English food was
Could you
always
put Rich
considered.
Mussman's up?
English food had no spice unless you went to an Indian restaurant or something. That was the place to get good food. Except for maybe fish and chips, English food was terrible and bland and nothing in it except for that.
Mashed
It's gotten
beans.
better. It's gotten better over the years with the influx of Rob Walker.
Immigrants.
Close your ears, immigrants. Close your ears, Rob. Immigrants.
That's
I'll
what
I'll say one more thing about barbecue and then I'll stop. We talk about what's the best and what all that sort of stuff, but the fact is that all barbecue's good, whether it's
yeah.
Texas barbecue, Kansas
Whose
City
phone is
barbecue.
ringing?
Let it ring. It's all good. Barbecue.
Wait, whose phone is ringing?
It was mine.
There's Elliot's.
It's Elliot's handlers telling him he's wrong about everything.
Yeah. Elliot,
Yeah.
stop
I'm
it.
right about
Killing
everything.
your show.
No, and you're right. I've seen it on TV where they do the whole hog and they just chop it up, and people, clamor to the having the skin mixed with the meat and the
Yeah.
sauce.
And the
But they
fat,
do whole hog in a lot of
I like
Hawaiian
when you get-
barbecue.
Yeah,
You
Hawaiian
get a
barbecue,
tooth
yeah.
Hawaiian
Sometimes you get a
barbecue.
little tooth.
Well, there's
Well,
good food
barbecue
now.
actually means from the tail, from barbecue from the head to the tail of the hog.
From the rooter to the tutor.
But my feeling, the ranking of barbecues is like Texas,
How about
Texas.
Kansas
how about-
City, Tennessee, Carolina's down here.
What do they
Very
do in
little difference
Tennessee? I don't know
between
Tennessee.
I
there's
think
very little
Tennessee-
difference, Elliot, between squid and bung.
Okay, calm down, Jim.
Obviously.
All right.
Obviously.
I believe Tennessee and Rogers here. He lives there. I don't know if he's an expert in it, but I think they do ribs. And the Tennessee barbecue I had was more similar to a North Carolina kind of.
I like baby back
Right,
ribs.
you
I
know,
love my
Well,
baby back
you
ribs.
have to bear in mind, visualize the state of Tennessee. And it starts in the Appalachian
Do I have to?
Mountains and goes all the way to Mississippi River. The variations along the way, I'm sure, are numerous. Not every. It's
got
kind of
your
hard to
hill
say
folk.
Tennessee barbecue. I think.
You know,
Hey, by the way, the Matthew Petty, I think you're wrong. I think Alabama has the white sauce.
Yeah, Alabama's white sauce.
okay, can we go
South
back to the
Carolina
movie
uses
Best
some
in
mustard
Show?
in their sauce.
The guy who
That's
describes
crazy.
all the different nuts. Remember the guy with the nut descriptions from the movie Best in Show? Can we do that
Yeah.
scene, please? You
No.
got your pine nuts. You got
No. No.
your.
Thank you, Jim.
Elliot, have you ever had Texas barbecue?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, there's a few restaurants around here that do their version of Texas barbecue.
But
I like
also
the idea
Texas
that you've got sausages, you've got,
Ribs.
the
They tend to
sausage,
use the bigger beef ribs
the
more
ribs,
than the small
and
pork
what
ribs.
is the part that's normally not that good a cut, but you guys in Texas have a way of preparing it. It's really good.
Brisket.
Yeah, briskets and that sort of stuff. I like Texas barbecue encompasses a lot, doesn't it? A lot of different things. In North Carolina, when we say barbecue, it's not the act of preparing or cooking something or having a cookout. A cookout is a cookout, not a barbecue. Barbecue is the meat that we prepare using pork.
Have you all ever had a Mexican barbacoa?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here in LA, they make it all over the place.
They make it, but
What is that?
but I doubt it. They make it the authentic way, where they do
bury
it in a bowl, bury it in an oven.
Hey,
In order
Craig,
to get that, you
well,
gotta go.
today-
You gotta
today
go.
the
You
U-
gotta go
you-
visit relatives in order to get that.
there's
I-
great restaurants in the UK today, but in the late 70s and into the 80s, there was few.
In
great
1969, I went to.
It's different
England.
now. I agree. It's different
When
now.
I was
I know.
13, I went to England.
There's
we
great
visited-
restaurants.
We
Nigella
visited
Lawson.
we visited people in Tynemouth, England, up around Newcastle upon Tynemouth, and we were like royalty visiting these people in Tynemouth, and they brought out the best they could do, and it was some sort of a roast covered in suet.
Sewage.
And they were so proud of this, and my brother and my sister and I looked at that and cried. There's no way we were going to eat that shit. So they sent us down the street to go get some fish and chips. And my brother and I got chased back by the bully boys. But it was much better than eating that roast in suet. There's like a half inch of fat all over this fuck. Never seen anything. Yeah, suet.
That must have been horrifying.
That was bad. It was
You know what Jim makes for himself on special occasions?
suet.
A
So-
suet Sunday.
Yeah.
You know,
You eat
it's
enough
like-
suet, and that was
reminds me of a story the doctor I
That was
worked
1969. I was 13. I went there for my bar mitzvah.
for. The doctor I worked for, grew up in Israel. So his uncle was a permanent. He was an advisor to some kind of medical board. Well, he invited him when he was 12, 13 to the U.S. and they came to Los Angeles, and they got invited to Barbara Walters' house for dinner.
Oh wow!
He goes, I went, and my aunt told me, whatever they serve, you're gonna eat. So he goes, growing up in Israel, we never knew what a lobster was because it wasn't kosher. Sure enough, that's what was served for dinner, a lobster. And he was like, what the hell is that? She's like, you better just watch me and eat the parts that you need to eat. So yeah, he was terrified.
I'm not a big lobster person. It's not
You're
for me.
I
not?
love lobster.
I like lobster.
I
But
like
I can
seafood.
imagine you
Like-
never ever seeing it, and all of a sudden they put it on your, in front of you
Yeah.
in the plate. It was
Crabs. I grew up eating blue crabs.
when I used to go to Boston a lot, I would bring a lobster home in a box. You could buy them at the airport. They'd be scratching inside the box.
Oh,
As soon as you get it home- Huh?
Would you? No, Wax says he grew up eating blue crabs. Would you actually go catch them as well?
No.
No.
You go buy a bushel of crabs.
Okay.
We wouldn't steam them. People would buy and steam them, but you could
In New
buy them
England,
already steamed.
Do you like soft shell
during
crabs?
lobster season.
Yeah, soft
They're
shell
like-
crabs are good.
In New England during lobster season, you can buy lobsters out of a fish tank at a liquor store.
Yeah, but
Everywhere.
Jim, I can't. Growing up, I remember distinctly in the 70s going in the grocery store and they had a tank full of lobsters.
Yeah.
That was like a regular thing.
Yeah. Crazy. My dad got busted in the 60s for poaching lobsters off of Catalina.
Yeah,
Didn't have a license.
they're not the same type of lobsters.
Cost him a lot of money.
No, seriously, people.
No, they're not.
Here's the thing.
They're not.
No, here's the thing about the Pacific. They call them lobsters. They're not lobsters.
They're like
giant,
bugs.
no, they're giant shrimp.
Yeah, I
The
guess. So.
Lagostino lobster is really shrimp.
Yeah, the new war.
I love shrimp.
It's different, Elliot. And actually, you can go to Trader Joe's, and in the frozen section, they sell the Lagostino tails.
Uh-huh.
It's very lobster-like.
I think Langostino was made up by
It was made up.
by the
But
chain
they're
restaurant.
giant. No one's going to eat giant shrimp. Lagostino lobster sounds.
Steak and
better.
Lagostino. Was it?
I eat mussels all the time. Love me some mussels. I go get a couple pounds of mussels.
Well, shrimp's my go-to seafood. I love shrimp.
When you grow up in the Mid-Atlantic, the Chesapeake Bay, oysters
I love oysters.
and crabs, oysters and crabs.
Now we used to catch crawdads in Griffith Park. I didn't know you could eat them until I went to New Orleans.
They're not the same.
So let's talk about the Irish coffee that was actually invented in San Francisco, not in Ireland.
How about
At
Chinese
the Buena
cookies?
Vista Cafe, right?
Chinese,
Hold on,
Chinese cookies. Chinese
Hold on.
fortune cookies. Fortune cookies.
Jim, what did we drink yesterday, Jim?
We had Vietnamese coffee. We had Vietnamese coffee. We had Vietnamese coffee.
Vietnamese iced coffee is the best iced coffee there is.
Yeah,
It's really
that's
good. There's a whole bunch of it. You can drink it all out of that. And then when you go home, you
Okay,
can
Eddie, one of my favorite things, and I'm only gearing it towards you because the obvious reasons, horchata.
Oh,
I like
Yeah.
that.
Is it pronounced horchata or jetta?
horchata,
Horchata, right.
rice water.
I just had one last week for the
Sweet,
first
sweet.
time in a while.
Yeah.
I love horchata.
Have you ever had the Mexican rice pudding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They have it all over the place here.
Yeah.
We lived in heavy,
Latino.
Latin communities.
Eddie, I'm
When
gonna
I
let
was
you on a little secret.
back in the day, Eddie, go on.
Eddie, here's a little secret about LA. There are a lot of Mexicans here.
Eddie,
Well, it's called
used-
Los Angeles.
And we
I
have
used to
like
go
3
to-
different Mexican supermarket
shit.
chains
I
here.
used to go to every
Actually,
Monday.
the
Flan.
Mexican folks
Yeah.
were there first, weren't they, Rob?
Yeah.
Every Monday, I would go to a
That was before my time.
big muffler store, an acre of mufflers. The first time I went in there, I go, "What the fuck am I smelling?" The guy goes, "Oh, follow me." I go, and there's a guy with a shopping cart, and in the shopping cart, he's got a wheel, a rim with coals in it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
a burning, and a grate over it, a big pot. This is on Monday, and he's got onions and celery. I mean, and little whatever. It was goat. It was fucking goat birria.
You
It
know,
was so goddamn good. It was so
I
good
miss
every Monday.
a
On
few.
Tuesday it was lingua. Tuesday was tongue.
Yeah.
It was a different meat every day in the shopping cart, and he would go from one place to another.
I miss
Tongue tacos are the best, man.
3 buildings from my house was a little corner grocery store, and every 5:00 or 4:30 every day until about 9 or so, woman would come out in front and make pupusas. And
What?
she had 2 kinds pupusas.
You can't
And
do that.
Those
You
ladies,
can't say that
they
word
make
here,
the
Ramsey.
pupusas.
we used
That
to
is-
go and get,
yeah.
and they were like, I think they were like $2.75 or $2.50 a piece, and we'd
There's
go.
a pupuseria right down the street.
But,
was
but
great.
pupusas, they're not Mexican. Those are from.
They're from
Those are
Yeah, well,
Salvadorian.
the neighborhood, was full of
Salvadorian.
Central and South
Salvadorian.
America, a lot of Salvadorians. Central,
grew up-
it's not.
my
the
next door
mission is
neighbors-
full of Latin communities.
I mean,
My next door
legal-
neighbors in Hollywood were from Peru.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
And
here in
Central
LA,
and South America as well.
there's a
big
lot
time.
of Salvadorians. There's pupusa places all over the
Or
place.
Colombia, exactly. But I mean, it's the Latin stores. We'd have a mix there, legal and illegal, and it was the best community I've lived in my entire life in terms
Well,
of community. In
Here
terms
in
of a
LA,
community.
there's Salvadorian
Yeah.
pupusa.
Since we're
Yeah.
talking food, should we talk about the liver connection that I have with Keith Richards on the liver?
No, because you talked about it already.
We heard that one. We've actually got a Colombian restaurant in my little town.
Quahogs are a bit big.
But they're owned by
Quahogs are
Sony now. They're
slightly
owned by
large.
Sony now, Elliot.
No, this is a Colombian. Yeah, I get you.
Sony.
Okay.
That's a joke.
This is actually an authentic Colombian restaurant. I've eaten there 2 or 3 times. It's
All right,
Have
really
you
good.
ever had a quahog? Who's eaten quahogs? I have.
All right, stop, Jim. What's the
Quahogs
signature?
can eat you back.
No one's talking about quahogs.
We're
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
everything today.
Signature Colombian dish. What's the dish they have in Colombia? I don't know.
Coffee.
The steaks are really big.
No, that's Argentina.
But Brazilian steakhouse. There's a Brazilian steakhouse that are big on
there's not a big Colombian scene here in LA, so I
No.
don't know.
The thing that looks like a banana, but it's not.
a dick.
The plantains and a lot of different
Penis.
raw
plantains.
seafood can be very good.
Sometimes a
Plantains.
banana is just a banana.
Plantains are part of a lot of different.
Uh,
I love sushi. Sushi is one of the best things, I think.
Okay.
I'm not eating bait. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mazzy's into Colombian sushi.
I
think
love
that's like
sushi.
something
I don't have it very
torture
much
people
now,
with.
but I love sushi.
How about oysters? Anyone eat? I love me some.
I
raw
love oysters.
I love oysters. Steamed oysters are the best.
No raw.
Well, okay, going back to barbecue, up on near Lima and Point Reyes, there's a place called the Marshall Tavern. I think it's still there. But barbecued oysters are the greatest thing. They put them on a grill.
Have you ever gone, Elliot? Have you ever gone to New Orleans?
No, I haven't.
The barbecue grill oysters that they
Yeah,
make in New Orleans
Yeah,
are
they're pretty
insanely
good.
good.
Yeah, I agree.
Sounds great. I'd love to have some.
Yeah.
In San Antonio, every year, the University of St. Mary's has the oyster bake, and they have live music for 3 days. I think it's usually a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday. And oysters is the big thing there.
In
But
San
how
Jose,
is
they
the
have
tradition?
the Crab Fest.
How is it a big thing there?
They've had it for 40, 50 years.
Yeah, but where do the oysters come from?
From the Gulf.
From the Gulf?
Oysters are like eating snot, but not your snot. Someone else's snot.
In Maryland, the big thing was either oyster stew or fried oysters.
Yeah, Point Reyes has some oysters.
Oyster
Never
stew or fried oysters. That's the way they serve them.
The best fish to me is flounder. I don't know how y'all feel about it.
I like flounder and I like trout.
I like
Flounder,
trout.
the name sounds like a mistake.
My grandfather was a big the other flatfish.
My fave right now is
Tilapia?
No,
that's
the
shit.
ocean fish.
I like they used to call it red snapper, but now it's called
Dover
red
sole.
rockfish. Red rockfish.
Dover sole
It's
is my grandfather's.
Super cheap and it's very tasty. Red rockfish. Used to be-
Catfish is a big thing down here.
Yeah, catfish in the south is good.
Yeah, you can raise catfish commercially.
Yeah, but here in LA with the soul food, catfish is always on the
right.
menu.
Haddock.
Hey,
You know.
look, hold on, Dan B. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, and don't you tell anyone this. People eat, and I don't know what Elliot's doing. Is he unloading
Halibut.
the
We're paying
dishwasher?
$50-$60 a pound for halibut down here. $50, $40, $50.
How big is it a halibut when you catch it? Those are like the biggest fish,
They're
right?
huge. Hundreds of pounds. You catch a halibut, it's worth $1 jillion. You go on
Here-
one of those
Here's
cruises.
what's fascinating to me about the whole sushi scene. A lot of the fish, my brother worked on a fishing boat in Alaska. A lot of that fish that's caught, that's sushi grade, it has to be sent to Japan to be graded and then can be sent out everywhere else.
Wow.
That seems weird to me. Halibut in Alaska. They're like gigantic fish. Are they bigger than tuna?
They're pretty big, but I don't think they're bigger than tuna. I was fishing off of Santa Barbara on the line.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Elliot, are you okay?
Elliot,
Yeah,
My-
I had let
my
Home
brother
Health
fall in his
come in.
pants.
I had a halibut on the line one
What
time.
is this?
All this
Lactose
food talk.
intolerant?
All this food talk, man.
It's
Can we
good.
talk about my fishing trip now? Can we talk about
Yes,
fishing
sir.
stories?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Fishing. I was
Hey,
fishing.
by the way, everyone, first time Jim has told this story, so listen up.
So I had a halibut on the line. I was in a little blow-up dinghy just off the coast in Santa Barbara. I was just outside of the surf, just beyond the surf. And I'm in there with my brother-in-law, and we're drunk. And I had a halibut on the line. It looked as big as our boat, because the water makes it look bigger. And my brother-in-law tried to hand line it in and broke the line, and it got away, and we're still talking about it today. That's
Wait,
my
that was a horrible story.
All fish stories suck. They're all terrible.
No. Hold on. You got drunk and went fishing, but didn't talk about catching anything.
I didn't catch
Catching
anything.
stuff is the fish story.
I'm not a catcher.
I understand, but just
I'm a
because
fisher.
you were
I'm a
drinking.
releaser.
Oh, hold on. Let me help everyone here. And Elliot might agree with me on this. A fish story is about you catching a fish.
No.
Not-
Even
not about
getting a
your
halibut on the
proximity to
line.
fish.
is pretty
Traditionally
cool.
went, but we're talking about Jim. So
I think getting a halibut on the line is a story in itself.
Well, we used to flounder gig. If anybody's familiar with flounder gigging,
Yeah, flounder. You
you're on a flat boat in the waterway or in the streams around. You go on it during low tide, and you're looking you got lights hanging down from the boat, and you're looking over and you're looking for a shape, the shape of a flounder. They lay down on the bottom,
So the
and you
halibut.
can just see their outline, and you gig them, bring them up, and go out. You're going out, low tide, late at night, 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever low tide happens to be, and it's fun, but the restrictions have gotten so that it's not hardly worth going out anymore, because they have to be a certain size, and you have a real small limit, because they're
don't wanna
becoming
fish
more
them
and more
out.
scarce. But you talk about great food. Get those hung, clean those flounder up, and cook, fry them up, and it is so fresh.
Yeah,
Just
There was a
flat out
time
good.
we were getting yellowtail up here in LA.
mm,
For some reason, they were coming up here, and I was in Catalina, and I saw these guys in a little boat waiting at the gas dock, and they were fucking eating this yellowtail right there on the boat, just
Wow.
sashimiing it.
Well, hold on. This is
Holy
very
crap,
important.
that was good.
Hey, Rev, Flounder from Animal House went to VCU. He's one of our famous alumni.
We'll give you a cookie.
Very cool.
are you guys familiar with alligator gar?
No, alligator? I've eaten gator.
No, it's a prehistoric fish. So just imagine the head of an alligator and the body of a fish, and they
Oh,
grow up.
That'd be Rob.
They grow up about 6-8 feet in length. They're
Wow.
pretty popular down here. It's a prehistoric fish.
Is it an invasive fish or
Are
an
they?
actual
Do they
fish?
actually exist?
No,
or
it
is
comes
this
over,
a-
knocks on your door, and comes in.
Because-
It's not
because
evasive at all.
in DC in the Potomac, some invasive fish got loose, and they've been teaching people to catch it because it's very scale. It's the way you described it, Eddie, sort of. And if you catch it, people don't know how to.
How do you catch it if it's evasive?
Invasive.
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 Oh,
Yeah, you can catch it
invasive.
like a regular fish.
Yeah,
or
here,
you fight over the bone.
Scotty knows.
With a bow and
these-
arrow.
These snakehead fish, they got like kind of armored scaliness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people teach them how to cut them up and
How to
stuff. so that
process
they're
them.
Sounds like the
edible.
Ninja
Process them.
Turtles. It sounds like the Ninja Turtles. Like,
The fish Eddie's talking about, though, is that good eating?
Yes.
What does it taste like? And don't say chicken.
It's just just imagine big chunks of white fish. Down here, they usually deep fry them, so it tastes good. Anything deep fried tastes good.
Right.
But yeah, but they're huge, and you can find them in creeks or in rivers down here.
How
So,
about you ever,
so
eat
they're
any
fresh water.
you ever eat any jellyfish? I think you can eat that.
No,
Well, in the Chesapeake Bay, there's a lot of jellyfish. No,
I
one
got
eats-
stung by jellyfish once.
Yeah.
I was body surfing my arm
I've
out.
always
I
growing
had,
up
I
there.
had blowfish once. There was a around a corner from my house, and there was a
Where they
blowfish
served it.
sushi. It was a really good sushi place, and they have every once in a while a certain kind of. It's not the poisonous. I don't know the differences. Don't
The blowfish.
I was going to say,
Oh,
if you don't dress that blowfish right, it's poisonous.
It's exactly.
Hey man, if
tried
you
that
don't
once.
dress a chicken right, it can be poisonous.
True.
I mean, hanging out with Rob is poisonous.
Well,
Yeah.
one of my big beefs about the world today, if I may be an old man,
Add it to the list. That's
Is
awesome.
beef?
is
beef?
is that you can't go in the grocery store and either buy a whole chicken anymore that you cut up and fry or bake or whatever. If not that, you can't buy a cut up chicken in the store. Everything is pieces. You got to buy the
Well,
breast.
You have to go to a butcher. Yeah.
Hold on, Elliot. Every store around me I go into, they have whole chickens.
Well,
can-
LA, you're in
You
LA.
live in the you
Yeah,
live in a
we-
different
we
The
world.
big
have-
cities have
They
delis
make
that
more
have-
money. They can make more money selling it as parts.
You know, you go
than
to
they can as a
Chinatown in
whole
San
chicken, I
Francisco,
guess.
they actually have the whole bird hanging there in San Francisco.
And ducks. They have ducks hanging in the
Yeah.
window.
Chinatown.
That's how I
like-
got my duck. I
used to
went.
like to
I
cook,
ordered a Peking duck, and when they served it, I ran out the door with it and brought it.
All
home.
right. Eddie wants me to show this before we end the stream. Here's the fish Eddie's talking about.
That's
Oh,
that's
wow.
that's
Yeah.
not good.
It's like
That is
platypus.
That's a platypus. First
Yeah.
of all,
That's
Second of all,
Is that
that thing
is
will
that,
bite your.
is that
your
Noble
lip.
Records with it?
Man, I'm sorry, Noble Dylan.
No,
I'm
it looks like
sorry,
Dylan.
Dylan.
Show it again.
Dylan?
Show it again. Rob, show it again.
Hold on.
That looks. No
Wow.
offense, Dylan. That's a Dylan lookalike.
Hold on. I have to show Dylan. Just because the guy's wearing a hat?
And he's got a facial. That's Dylan.
Wow,
he
that is
searches everywhere for collections.
That
half,
is so.
half the middle-aged white men in
country-phobic.
America
That is so-
have
I
have
tell you,
a hat
it's
and
a
a beard.
prehistoric fish.
That's true, Elliot.
But here's what Jim eats regularly. I'll show you a picture of what Jim eats. It's coming. I'm looking
not
for
gonna
it. It's on my camera roll. It's here.
I eat Huachinango. Huachinango.
Huachinango. That's a red
Hold
snapper.
on. Huh? This is what Jim eats.
Peacock. That's in front of my house.
I think Jim eats the second syllable.
That's in front of
that.
Jim's house.
Oh, thank you very much. I eat cock. Is that what you're saying? I eat cock.
He said it, not me.
Wow.
Tastes like chicken.
You would know, Spazzy.
You know, there's actually people like serial killer European series on television. There's a series on Netflix now, a Norwegian
doesn't?
show. A Norwegian show called
Norwegian shows are
Detective
great.
Hole.
Yeah.
Detective Hole.
Yeah.
I'm like 6 episodes in. It's really creepy, really good.
Sherry's watching Paradise.
I
That's a
don't
great
know.
song by John Prine.
It's
Detective
a dystopian. Everyone's living underground. 25,000 people.
There you go,
live in-
Dan. Okay. I
That's
hope you
the
like it. I
new,
mean, if you know the record, great.
Hey, Beetle Kimbo. I peaked in middle school. Who made that record talk? I peaked in middle school. I haven't really gone beyond.
I don't think Jim has peaked yet.
14 years old. That was it.
What are you
for me.
holding up, Elliot?
This is the new Third Man Vault release, the quarterly release. It's
From
It's
Jimi Hendrix?
Jimi Hendrix Valley of the Jams, 1969 and 70, 3-record set,
Wow.
and it also comes with a patch
Ooh.
and a bumper sticker. How many of us put bumper stickers on our cars these days? And a 45.
Oh, cool.
And
Jeez.
so I think that'll be interesting. I hadn't had any Jimi Hendrix in the house in a long time. But that's from the Third Man Records.
This Saturday, Saturday Night Live, the host is Jack Black with Jack White. Is the
Oh,
music.
wow.
Perfect. Black and white.
Black and white.
And they couldn't find one black person if they have a black and white episode.
Everyone, do me a favor. Since the donos have dried up, send your horrible comments about Mazzy's comment to Mazzy. And also, before we leave, this is an added benefit. If you send a horrible comment to Mazzy, chances are he'll post it on his Instagram.
That's true.
Yeah.
He likes to post the horrible.
I want to thank Rob for hosting these Tuesday and morning things, because without Rob, we'd have someone with like more intelligent, more charisma baited.
I know.
This is
Rob's
like having
such-
coffee with your buds.
Rob is such a good
This
placeholder.
this is Broadway Danny Rose this morning.
Hey, everyone, I'm not blushing right now. See you on Saturday's auction. Come by Saturday. I'm doing a preview video later today.
Later.
And Gunsmoke's on.
Bye.
Bye.